Have you ever hit submit on your tax return, only to realize moments later, or maybe weeks later, that something just was not quite right? Perhaps you forgot a deduction, or maybe you received an additional tax document. It happens to the best of us, and the good news is, it is not a dead end. To answer your question directly, you complete an amended tax return 1040X by carefully filling out the official Internal Revenue Service form, which allows you to correct information on a previously filed personal income tax return like the 1040, 1040A, or 1040EZ. This form, the 1040X, is essentially the Internal Revenue Service's structured way for you to make corrections to your tax record. It provides a clear, uniform method for taxpayers to notify the Internal Revenue Service of changes, whether it is an adjustment to income, deductions, credits, or even your filing status. Without it, the Internal Revenue Service would not have a standardized process to update your tax account, ensuring everything aligns correctly for audit purposes or future tax years. Now let's walk through exactly how to do this. First things first, gather your original tax return that you want to amend, along with any new or corrected documents that support the changes you need to make. This might include additional W-2 forms, 1099 forms, or receipts for deductions you missed. Next, locate Form 1040X, the Amended US Individual Income Tax Return. You can download this from the Internal Revenue Service website. The form is divided into 3 main parts. Part 1 is where you enter your identifying information for the tax year you are amending. Be sure to select the correct tax year because the rules and calculations can vary. Part 2 is where the magic happens. Here, you will find columns for the original amount you reported, the net change you are making, and the correct amount that should have been reported. This section covers adjustments to income, deductions, credits, and tax liability. You will need to carefully recompute your tax based on the correct figures. For example, if you forgot to include a deduction, you will subtract that amount from your original taxable income. If you forgot some income, you will add it. Part 3 is crucial. It is where you explain the changes you are making and the reason why. Being clear and concise here is very important. For instance, you might write, amending to include missed child care credit, or correcting income due to an additional W-2 received. Attach any supporting documents that prove your changes, but do not send your original tax return. Only send copies of the relevant documents. Once completed, sign and date the form. You will then mail your Form 1040X to the appropriate Internal Revenue Service address. These addresses can be found in the form's instructions, and they vary depending on where you live. Remember, you usually have 3 years from the date you filed your original return or 2 years from the date you paid the tax, whichever is later, to file an amended return to claim a refund. This 3-year window is a key detail to remember, especially if you are expecting a refund. Many people do not realize they have this much time to correct an error that could put money back in their pocket. Accurately amending your return not only helps you claim any money you are owed but also helps you avoid potential penalties if you owe additional tax. The Internal Revenue Service actually appreciates taxpayers proactively correcting errors. It is a sign of good faith and compliance. Good record-keeping throughout the year simplifies this process immensely. Ultimately, understanding how to complete an amended tax return 1040X empowers you. It ensures your tax information is always accurate and up to date with the Internal Revenue Service, protecting you from future issues and allowing you to receive any refunds you are entitled to. It is all about maintaining compliance and achieving that financial peace of mind.